about measuring the efficiency of UVC for disinfection. Is that possible to measure the level of, can one measure the level of disinfection? Hold on a sec, let me read that again. How do you measure the efficiency of UVC for disinfection? I think that's the question.
Who's going to take this? Juan?
I can start it if you like. The photobiological standards, various standards that show you how to measure the exposure dose. So you know how much dosage you're putting on the surface or into the air. And then you have to be familiar with what dosage you need to kill the particular pathogen you're trying to kill. So measuring the dosage is fairly straightforward. The photobiological standards give you good guidance on how to do that. You have to decide how much dosing you need. That's the magic question, isn't it? There's various studies out there that specify exposure doses for different pathogens, so that becomes a judgment call. But certainly measuring exposure dose on a surface, it can be done, and the photobiological standards give good guidance on that.
So that is also what was my response. So to be sure is when you see the test results from the Boston University, also you see how much energy you need. And then when you are sure you have this kind of energy, you can be, for that log that you want, for log 4 or log 6, you know, then you can be sure that it is being active. But one thing you have to be sure about is that it can only be when it is in line of sight of the light. Yeah, so it has the surface has to be touched by the light. If it is not being touched by the light, of course, you do not disinfect the surface. So again, it is important that you make a good design, that you are sure that you are touching all the surfaces that you want to disinfect.